What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to talk about something that does not get talked about enough in our community, which is fitness and staying physically fit, staying healthy, in the 2A community, in the preparedness community, etc. We just do not talk about it enough. I know that the guns, the gadgets, the optics, all the goodies are fun and they're great, and it's great to train. It's great to shoot. We all love to shoot and all that. But if you're not in shape, all the Noveski, all the Knights armament, that Radiant setup, all that thousands and thousands of dollars worth of equipment you have means absolutely jack shit. You know, if you run a 45-minute mile, it doesn't really matter how many guns you have in your safe, because if shit were to hit the fan, you're you're a liability, if we're being completely real. So it is extremely important that we do not just stay prepared when it comes to tools and training, but as well as staying physically fit and staying healthy. That is a huge proportion of being able to be there for the ones that we love and being at our best. And you know, we're trying to not overlook that. And there's a lot of people who have reached out to me who are telling me that they're trying to get that in order. They don't know what program to follow. They don't know what to do. Well, today what we're going to do is we're going to simplify all that, because that's what we do on this channel. We simplify things and make it more accessible for people to do and understand. So we're going to simplify a program of how you can get your fitness about life, your fitness journey in order, and you can grab it by the horns. Like I said, we're going to keep it super simple. We're going to keep a program that can apply to mostly anybody, and it's going to provide you a base, a proper base, so you can be able to grow and go on to do intermediate and advanced things. So, and at the end of this, you will get results, and hopefully you will have the motivation and you have the results to keep on building on, build from there. And hopefully we'll get less people complaining about 10.5-pound rifles, and we grow as men. So without further ado, let's get going. Now, the first step in this journey is 5 steps. First step in this journey is getting your diet in order. Now, when we're talking about diet, I know people don't like to count calories. They don't like to do all that controlling stuff. Point blank, if you're new to this or you're trying to get a hold of your health, you are going to have to count calories. You're going to have to track your weight. You're going to have to track your calories and what you eat. The reason being is because a lot of people overestimate and underestimate how many calories are in things. A lot of people seem to think that they know, but they do not. You may think you're eating 1,500 calories a day, but you may be eating 3,000. You really don't know. So until you're familiar and get good at identifying or guesstimating how many calories are in things, and that only happens with repetition and seeing the actual numbers, you should count calories and you should track your weight. Now, there's many apps and programs that do that. I recommend my fitness app. Super easy. Download it. It's on your phone, and it'll help you track your weight as well as what you're eating and the calories that you're intaking. So next, you're going to want to figure out how to figure out your maintenance calories. What does it take for your body to perform at its normal level without gaining weight or losing weight? Those are your maintenance calories. The way you're going to figure that out is like I said, you're going to track your calories. You're going to track your weight for at least 1 or 2 weeks, and you're going to want to pay attention to what happens to your weight while you're eating what you're eating on a daily basis. So if you're gaining weight, then you're eating too much. You're eating in a calorie surplus. If you're losing weight, you're eating too little. You're at a deficit. If you're staying steady, then those amount of calories averaged out by 7 days in a week are your maintenance calories. So for example, if you're eating around 1,700 calories per day, give or take on average, and you're losing weight, then you're not eating enough, and you should bump that up by a couple hundred calories, maybe say 200 calories, see how that works, and then wait another week or 2 and see what your average is out, because you always want to take the average and see what happens. If you don't gain weight and you don't lose weight, then okay, now I know that 1,900 calories is my maintenance. If you start to gain weight, then you're overdoing it, bring it down by 100 calories. So you want to keep track of it like that. You want to be meticulous about it, because in the beginning, you want to familiarize yourself with food. Like I said, because a lot of people overestimate calories. They don't really know how many calories are in things. And some of us don't even pay attention to the calorie intake of things, especially when we eat out. We just eat and assume that, we're good, I'm full, so that's all that matters. No, you should look up, a lot of restaurants, mostly they should provide the nutritional uh, numbers for whatever it is you're eating. Input those in My Fitness app and you'll be better for it. Now, another thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to stop eating processed foods. Like if I'm talking about microwavable stuff, junk food, all that stuff, I get it. Sometimes we don't feel like cooking. Sometimes we don't want to cook. I get that. Baby steps. We want to have small wins. So try to start eliminating some of that from your diet. If you eat out all the time, I know it's going to be hard to stop doing that. Start substituting some of the places that you like eating out with other places. So for example, you like eating a lot of Burger King, a lot of that greasy stuff, fried stuff. Start eating at other places. Like I know Chipotle is controversial, but places like Chipotle where they're using whole foods. And I'm not saying that they're super healthy, but they're using whole foods and it's a little bit healthier for you to eat. And there's other places like Kava, and there's other places. I understand some of this food is a little bit more expensive, but it's worth it. Plus, you want to start decreasing the amount of times that you eat out anyways. It's just, we live in a time where the food that we're eating out is just not good for us at all. So again, baby steps. You don't have to remove this stuff all at once. Just try to get positive wins. Just try to remove these things and replace them with other things, whole foods, healthier places, healthier restaurants. Next would be sugar. Sugar is not your friend. It's in everything. If you're into sodas, which a lot of people are, replace them with zero sugar sodas. I used to drink sodas all the time, and I replaced it with Diet Coke and zero sugar sodas, and it's done wonders for me. The inflammation you get, the sugar spike that you get is just not good for you at all. And it's just the calories it's just all bad. So sugar is not your friend. Please be mindful of your sugar intake. So zero sugar, or try to eliminate the sugar altogether, or limit the intake. I like to eat the donut here and there, and I'll eat sugary stuff here and there, but I'll be mindful of how much of it I'm eating. So, and stuff like ice cream and stuff, be mindful of the ingredients. There's better options. We have a lot of options today and age. So, be mindful. More water. Make sure that you're drinking enough water. This is a big thing for people. I have a big problem with this as well, even now, as somebody who stays relatively fit, of intaking water. I drink a lot of my water intake comes in the form of just water plus Crystal Light, just because I don't know, sometimes some days I just wake up and I just don't like, it's not that I don't like the taste of water, because it doesn't taste like anything. It just doesn't move me. For somebody who used to drink a lot of soda and sugary stuff, it just doesn't move me. So I had a packet of Crystal Light in there, and I'm getting my water intake. Now, is water better? Yes, but again, small wins, baby steps. Eventually I'll move to eliminate that from my diet. But more water intake. Without the water, none of this is possible. We're just not going to be as efficient as we should be. So super important. Now, when it comes to protein, you want to go for the traditional 1 gram of protein per pound of weight. So if you're 150 pounds, you're looking at 150 grams of protein per day. Like for example, for me, I don't count calories now. I've been doing this a while. I don't count calories, but I do count protein. So I make sure that I get my allotted protein intake daily, and then everything else just falls into place as far as calories go. So make sure you get your protein, so that when we go to step 2, which is strength training, that we have enough building blocks so that our muscles are getting stronger and they're actually growing. And then lastly is try to be consistent with it. You're gonna mess up, you're gonna relapse, things are gonna happen. Just be mindful. When it comes to diet, think weekly, not daily. So if you mess up one day, that's okay. You can be mindful for the rest of the week and make adjustments so that you can balance things out. Your body is very forgiving. Think weekly, not daily. So that's step number 1, which is your diet, which is super important, which is 90% of the whole, staying healthy, keeping fat off, etc., etc. So super important. Step number 2 is going to be strength training. Now, there's a lot of programs out there. There's a lot of splits. There's a lot of stuff out there, a lot of information. Again, we're trying to keep it super simple. We're not trying to be bodybuilders. We're not going to a Mr. Olympia competition. So I'm keeping this super, super simple for pretty much anybody to do. You can be a woman, a kid, a man, doesn't matter. We're going for efficiency. And because of this, we're going full body, and we're going full body between 1 and 3 times per week. And I say that because if you're relatively new, you're probably going to go 1 time per week. And as your body adjusts and the soreness and all that passes, which it will, you're going to probably move to 2 times a week. For example, a lot of my intermediate friends and family, they're going Mondays and Fridays, and that's what I would recommend, twice per week, and full body. Now, the reason we're going full body is because full body to me is functional fitness. It mimics real world movements, and it just improves athleticism in most people. It's just conventional training. It's something that you can take it to a wide range of people, and it'll benefit a lot of people, because a lot of people don't have that base strength that they need to have. And again, full body plus compound exercises to me addresses that. So that's the next thing, which will be, we're focusing on compound movements, compound exercises, because like I said, it mimics real life movements and improves athleticism. I don't know if I said that before or after that. I don't know. Sometimes Tism was acting up, but yeah. So compound movements, and we're doing those 1 or 3 times per week. And when it comes to the compound movements, I also like them because of their core engagement. It helps develop strong and stable cores, which is again super important for the average person to use that to improve in a lot of things, such as shooting and just being athletic and doing daily activities, whether it's at work or for fun or whatever. It's a huge boost in somebody's physical ability. So super important. Now, when we're talking compound movements, the movements that you'd be doing are squat, bench press, overhead press, pull-ups or chin-ups, and I'm going to also add barbell curls, and also going to add abs, so ab workouts. Now, the reason I add those is because it basically completes a workout that's targeting pretty much all your biggest muscles. And when you strengthen those movements, you're creating an incredible base for you to be able to go on and do intermediate and advanced movements, use other machines, etc., etc. Most people are using machines in the gym that they shouldn't be using, because they're traditional compound workouts or movements. They don't have the form, and they don't have the experience behind it. And I don't know. I think that a lot of people should go back to doing compound movements and mastering those, and then using that base to do more and bigger things. So like I said, squat, bench, overhead press, pull-ups, chin-ups, barbell curls, and abs. Now, I also, if for most men, just because that's just how I think, I would also add pull downs as well in there. And for women, because I've had these conversations before, I'd probably add another leg workout to help out with their, their butt, their glutes, because that's just an area that a lot of women are focused on. So, which will be fine. You don't need a billion workouts. Just do those. Focus on your form. Focus on really paying attention to the movement and perfecting it, and no ego lifting. Now, we're doing this, again, like I said, 1 to 3 times per week, and we are doing 3 to 5 sets of it. Now, when we're talking about sets, you're only going to have 1 set that's going to be your working set. And by working set, I mean the set that's actually going to put your muscles through that strain, through that actual workout, that's going to cause the inflammation and the breakage, that's going to cause it to repair itself and grow, et cetera, and get stronger. So all the other sets are warm-ups. You're warming your way up to that working set. That's why I say between 3 to 5 sets. Some days I go in the gym and let's say I'm doing squat. Some days I need 2 sets to warm up, and then I'm just paying attention to my body, my legs, my back, everything, and I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get to work. Some days it takes me 4 sets to warm up to get to that working set. So pay attention to your body. Try to get in tune with your body. You'll figure it out the more you do it, but you're doing between 3 and 5 sets. Now, as far as reps, we're staying between the 5 and 10 rep range. And I say range because the goal is to be able to do 10 reps of that weight that you're doing for that workout. And if you can, then that's your cue to know that it's time to move up in weight. So when you're keeping track of this, pretty much every time you go to the gym. So I know that some of you will probably say, well, you going back to compound lifts, you left out deadlifts and you left out bent over rows. I usually leave those out, especially for beginners and people who are just trying to get into a rhythm because of the whole back issue. A lot of people have back problems. A lot of people, I think with the injuries and everything, deadlifting is a great workout. I've just seen enough that I feel like the benefits that you get, it doesn't need to be added right away. It's something that can be added in the future as you get better, as you get stronger and you have more stability. Some people may have problems with the squat. I understand that. You can swap that out for a better version of a squat that you can do, like goblin squats or leg press. Just substitute it out for another workout that works out your legs and you'll be just fine. So that's for strength training. Now, the reason I say 1 to 3 days a week and the reason I like full body is because most people, like I said, are not going to go to some Mr. Olympia workout. We're not trying to be bodybuilders. The guys that are working 6-7 days a week, a lot of them are in love with the sport, which is fine. And they should have their program tailored this way. The way their program is tailored, they're hitting different muscle groups, so they're not fatiguing that muscle group and working that out every single day. So at least that's how it should be. So do not compare yourself to them. Do not compare yourself to guys that are on gear. You're just an average human being that's just looking to get stronger and be healthy, etc. So 1 to 3 times a week is perfectly fine. So like I said, we all have jobs, responsibility, kids. So we're trying to be as efficient as possible. So that's number 2, strength training. That's all we're going to do for strength training. Do that. There's many ways that you can make it harder. You can increase the sets. You can increase, like I said, the amount of times you work out per week. There's a lot of ways you can tweak that. You can add more workouts into it. So for me, mine looks like this: squat, bench, overhead press, pull up, barbell curls, abs, pull downs, as well as some days I may add different workouts depending on what I want to focus on that day. So I may do push-ups, I may do rows, I may do squats, and I may do the leg press as well if I'm really trying to get, grow my legs or grow some body part. So as you progress, you can make it harder as well. So it's not something that can stay small and basic like this. You can actually grow with it. So keep that in mind. As far as rest goes in between sets, 1 minute rest, just throw it on your phone, have a 1 minute alarm, and please take your rests seriously. Give yourself that 1 minute rest so that you're efficient and you're actually letting your muscles rest and then be ready to work again. Because if you're resting for 20 seconds, 30 seconds, it's just not efficient. It's not what you should be doing. Be mindful of that as well. So that's number 2, strength training. Number 3 is going to be cardiovascular training. Now, a lot of people think that cardiovascular training also means fat loss. It does not. That's the next one we're going to go to. We're focusing on cardiovascular training. And the reason we want to focus on that as well is because that is going to strengthen your heart. It's going to improve your circulation. It's going to boost your overall health. It is good for you. It increases your lung capacity. It is what is going to allow you to be able to run away when something happens, or be able to do multiple things, shoot under fire, go to training, go to these classes and not be out of breath as soon as you just jog. You're going to be able to sustain activities longer. You're going to have more energy. You're going to have more stamina. You're going to basically have reduced fatigue in daily activities, which is something everybody wants. So we're not going to overthink this. A lot of people overthink this. You're going to basically want to focus on heart rate zones. So you're going to make sure that you familiarize yourself with heart rate zones. This is basically the intensity level based on your beats per minute, your BPM. A lot of phones and watches and all that. Rings nowadays track that stuff. And it basically helps you work out at the right intensity levels. A lot of people are working out. A lot of people are going out running. A lot of people are doing fat loss workouts, but they're not doing it at the intensity that they should to maximize the workout that they're doing, because, you know, time is precious. You don't just want to be working out, just be working out. So you're going to make sure that you are aware of the heart rate zones that you should be in for what you're trying to do. When it comes to cardiovascular training, you're going to want to be in zone 3. Now you can look this up on Google. I'll put a link to a box, or a little box that has a description of the different zones. There's multiple different zones, but for cardiovascular training, we're trying to be in zone 3. And the way you're going to want to really approach this is, first, you're going to want to find your maximum heart rate. Now, to do that, the most common way that I've seen done this is this formula, which is 220 subtracting your age. So for example, if you're 30 years old, you're going to take 220, you're going to subtract 30. It gives you 190. That is your maximum heart rate. Now, your maximum heart rate is what you're going to use to determine the percentage of your intensity. So in zone 3 for cardiovascular training, you want to be between 70 and 80% of your maximum heart rate. So between 70 and 80% of, let's say you're a 30-year-old, we calculated your maximum heart rate is 190. You want to be at 70 and 80, between 70 and 80% of that number. So when you're tracking it on your phone or tracking it on your watch, that's where you want to be at. That's the sweet spot you want to be at. And again, it sounds like Chinese. Just write it down. Next time you work out, just pay attention to that. Now, some of the best workouts I always advise people to do, because we're not trying to overthink it, we're not trying to be bodybuilders or all that other stuff, is jogging, the bike, getting on the bike, swimming, the elliptical, hiking. Basically, when you're doing these workouts, you basically want to make sure that you're in that zone to maximize that workout. So you're actually getting in that cardiovascular workout in to make that improvement. And as far as time goes, you want to go between 45 minutes and an hour. And let's say you're on a bike, the elliptical, whatever, 45 minutes an hour is perfect. About 2 times per week, I say between 1 or 2 times per week, depending on your schedule. In a perfect world, you're going twice per week. So let's say you're going strength training Mondays and Fridays. You can also, let's say, go for a run on Wednesday, and then you can go on a run on Saturday or whatever, twice per week. And you just make sure that, that jog or whatever, that you're in that sweet spot as far as zone goes, and you're golden. So that's cardiovascular training. A lot of people think cardiovascular training is fat loss training. They're not the same. So you want to separate the two, be intentional in what you're trying to do. So that's number 3, cardiovascular training. Number 4 is fat loss. Now, when it comes to fat loss, not everybody is working out for fat loss. Some of us are, some of us aren't. Some people are happy to maintain. But when it comes to fat loss, again, you want to be intentional about it. But for fat loss, starting off with the workouts themselves, you're going to want to be in zone 2 when it comes to the heart rate zone for fat loss. And that's about 60 to 70% of your maximum heart rate. So again, if your heart rate is 190, you're a 30-year-old person, you're going to be at 60 to 70% of that number of 190. So that's where you want to be as far as your heart rate goes when you're doing these workouts for fat loss. Fat loss as well, just to simplify it, there's basically 3 workouts I like to advise people to do, which is number 1, which is incline walking, which 45 minutes to an hour, great. If you're looking for a little bit more and you have a bigger fat loss goal, maybe increase it to an hour and a half. And second will be biking, jumping on the bike as well. And then third will be jump rope. Now, the biking and the incline walking, again, 45 minutes an hour, maybe an hour and a half to increase that if you need a little bit more. That's great. But when it comes to the jump rope, if you're doing jump rope, which is my favorite one to recommend to people, is your goal is to do 5 minutes of jump rope every single day, 7 days a week. So you're just taking 5 minutes out of your day to jump rope for 5 minutes straight. Now, when you first start, you're not going to be able to jump rope for 5 minutes straight. A lot of people think they can because 5 minutes sounds like it's not a lot of time. You're not going to be able to. You're probably going to stop at 45 seconds, maybe a minute. You're going to take a little rest. You should pause the time when you do that. And then unpause, keep jumping. And then you're doing 5 minutes. Your goal is to do the whole 5 minutes straight on. I guarantee you that if you do 5, you're going to see a big difference in your legs. It's going to help you with your fat loss. Because I tell people that 90% of fat loss is in the diet, but with the calorie deficit plus the fat loss workout that you're doing goes a long way. And we're trying to keep it stupid simple. We're not trying to be super tired in the week. We all have family, kids, and things to do. So incline walking, 45 minutes to an hour, biking, 45 minutes to an hour, or 5 minutes to jump rope every single day. Now with the incline walking and biking, you don't have to do that every day. You're looking to do that 2 to 3 times a week, depending on your fat loss goal. So if you're looking to lose a significant amount of weight, then increase the amount of times that you do it per week. I probably wouldn't do it more than 3 times a week. But if you're not, you're just looking to lose a little bit of weight, 1 or 2 times per week is great. Make sure you're focusing on your diet for 90% of your efforts when it comes to fat loss. So now, another tidbit when it comes to fat loss as well, because YouTube and the internet romanticizes a lot of things, which is a healthy fat loss journey. You are actually looking to lose about 1 or 2 pounds per week. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but that is the healthy amount of weight you're looking to lose per week. 1 or 2 pounds per week. Anything more than that can lead to some bad things. It can lead to muscle loss. It can lead to slow metabolism, and it's hard to maintain. It's just not healthy. It's crash dieting. It's just not good for you. People usually that crash diet are the ones that spring back the easiest, the fastest. So we're looking to create slow and steady, consistent habits. So your goal is to lose about 1 pound or 2 per week. Make sure you're tracking your weight and you're taking an average, and the average is weekly. We're not looking to pay attention to our weight on a daily basis. Pay attention to your weight on a weekly basis. So if at the end of the week, take the average. All right, that's my weight. The next week, take the average of that next week and then pay attention to that average weight. Did you lose weight? Did you gain weight? Or did you maintain? That's how you're doing that. So make sure you're mindful how you're calculating that. So that's for fat loss. Super simple. Don't overcomplicate it. You do not need to be doing all this HIIT stuff. You do not need to be running hills. I guarantee you, just simplify. Even with the cardiovascular training, do whatever workout is fine with you. Just make sure that you're in that zone that you need to be in. You like boxing, do boxing. You like playing basketball, play some basketball. You know, do whatever you like doing. Just make sure you get it done and stay in that zone. That's the best way to be consistent with it, you know? So super important. And then lastly, we're going to talk about recovery. Now, going back to diet really quick before we go to the last one, which is recovery. When you're plus the fat loss, when diet plus fat loss is how you're going to lose weight and not crash out when you're losing weight. You be mindful of what you're doing. When you're looking for a calorie deficit, usually I tell people between 500 and 1,000 calorie deficit a day. So once you figure out what your maintenance calories are, if you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to eat. Actually, as a matter of fact, 500,000 is a lot. Start 300 to 500 to start. Just remove 300 to 500 calories from your maintenance and see how that goes. Keep track of that. Make sure you're not crash dieting. Again, 1 or 2 pounds per week. Be safe, be healthy. Now you can push it a little bit, which is fine. You can push it, maybe, lose 3 to 5 pounds per week and still teeter on the healthy side. That's doable. You just have to be very, very consistent with your diet. Be mindful of what you're putting in your body. For eating a lot of bullshit, a lot of fast food, it's just not going to work. So if you're gonna want to put the pressure on and do more than that 1 or 2 pounds per week, you have to be pretty much perfect on the diet side and what you're doing with your body. So remember that. Now, lastly, it's going to be recovery. So that's the last step, is going to be recovery. It's super important. The younger you are, the less you care about this. And the older you are, the more you care about this, which is interesting. So, but it always matters. It doesn't matter if you're young or old. Recovery, meaning stretching, yoga, ice baths, muscle rolling, getting enough sleep. If you're not getting enough sleep, none of this matters. If you're not getting enough sleep, none of this matters. And again, think of things in a weekly basis, not a daily basis. So if yesterday you had to work or you had to study, you had to do whatever, and you only got 6 hours of sleep, try to sneak in an hour nap during the day today or tomorrow. Try to make that up. It's a bank. Sleeping is like a bank. You take in and you take out. You're trying to, because a lot of us are sleep deprived. Our bank is in the negative. We're trying to pay that loan back, basically. So if you can get in a nap, get in a nap, you know? So think of it like that. Get some sleep. Water intake. Make sure you're getting your water intake. Muscle rolling, like I mentioned, muscle rolling, stretching. Now, this stuff is super important. It keeps your body in tip-top shape. It keeps your body going. I can't stress this enough. It may seem like it doesn't matter, but it does matter. It makes the workout, I wouldn't say easier. I don't like to use the word easier, but it makes the workouts better. It makes your body feel better. It's just, you know, when you're doing stuff outside of the gym that are athletic, or if you're going upstairs or whatever, it just, your body just feels better. You don't feel stiff. You don't feel like you're gonna break. So make sure that you are doing some type of recovery. Take care of yourself. You know, if you got to go to the chiropractor, go to the chiropractor. If you got to get massages, get massages. Do whatever you got to do. Take care of yourself. And lastly, in the recovery part, is your mental health. Make sure that you are taking care of your mental health, making sure that if you need to see a therapist, see a therapist. If you need to see a psychologist, see a psychologist. Whatever you need to do to take care of your mental health, do it. Get a diary, because you should already have a gym diary. You should be documenting your progress when it comes to your strength. In a gym diary, I use my notes app on my phone, and, you know, maybe get yourself a diary as far as like your day-to-day, to help with your mental health, to help write things down, stay on task, help with goals. And I guarantee you, if you put this all together, you're sick. Do it for at least 6 months. Do it for 6 months. Come back to me. Tell me how it went. I guarantee you, you're going to see progress. Not only are you going to see progress, usually what happens is people are motivated. They're like, damn, I did that. And you're motivated to do more. And what I like to tell people, especially if you're a newbie, especially if you're a beginner, the beginner gains, the newbie gains, you'll never get that back. That feeling, the amount of gains that you get, the stimulation your muscles get and all that, you're never gonna get that back. So maximize that. When you start, maximize that. You'll never get that back. So again, it doesn't matter if you're a man, woman, if you're a teenager about to be a man, graduate high school or whatever. Everything we talked about today, that's all you need. Don't overthink this gym stuff. Don't need all these splits. It doesn't, notice I didn't mention if you're doing a carnivore diet, if you're doing a keto diet. Just make sure you're getting the protein that you need in. Make sure you're getting the calories that you need in. Eat whole foods, and you should be good to go. You should be good to go. So I hope that helped. I think that we should be talking more about this. Like I said, if shit were to hit the fan, are you a asset or a liability when it comes to the fitness side of things? You know, are you going to be huffing and puffing? Can you carry the weight of all that equipment you have purchased? Is that the reason why you're complaining about a rifle being 10.5 pounds? Like my rifle is 10.5 pounds, and I always hear from my boys and friends like, oh man, that's a heavy rifle. Like, is it really? Is it? And then one last thing I want to leave you guys with is pick up your rifle every single day. Treat it like a workout. Pick up your rifle every single day. Take the sling off, pick it up every day, do some drills, even if it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, do it 5 to 10 minutes straight. You will, at first it's gonna burn your arms, it's gonna be tiring, you're gonna be huffing and puffing, you're probably gonna sweat. And it's gonna be like that for a little bit, but your rifle is gonna start feeling lighter and lighter. And what you're trying to do is, you're trying to create that muscle memory, and it's a workout. You know, you're trying to create that muscle memory for then, if something were to happen, you got to pick up your rifle and you don't have your sling, you're not huffing and puffing, you're not weak as hell. So that prepared with everything we talked about today, you should be good, and you should be good to go. You should be good to go. So if you're with me so far, I appreciate you watching the video thus far. I hope that this helped. Again, we're trying to simplify things, make things simple for everybody, and make things accessible for people. There's a lot of crazy programs out there. There's a lot of, oh, do this in many sets, do this, do that, do this. It's just too much. For the average person, you don't need to be doing all that stuff. So let me know if that made sense. If you agree with me, let me know in the comments. If you do not agree, let me know in the comments as well. There's a lot of guys that watch my stuff that are fitness guys, that are coaches, that are trainers, that have been working out for a long time. This stuff may not be new to them. So you let me know in the comments how you feel about everything we talked about today. Give out some tips, pointers. A lot of people learn from the comment section, and I love reading all the comments anyway. So again, I appreciate you guys watching my videos. Let's push this fitness stuff. Summer is coming. Let's get fit, man. I'm doing some classes. More people would be doing more classes if they were fit. I'm telling you, more people would do more classes, more training. More people would go to the range if they felt fit enough to do it, if they weren't so self-conscious. Getting in shape, getting fit can truly change your life. So let's build that foundation. I hope that helped. Do something great. Be positive, recycle, and I will see you guys on the next one. Deuces.